Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things dirty through a common sense lens, and I am a fan of Deadpool, right, boys and girls? I was actually digging around for one of my Deadpool shirts this morning. It was kind of funny. I couldn't find one that was clean, but it's funny because I didn't even think about this article being out there today before we went over, but I am a fan of Deadpool. I really like Deadpool in the comics. I really enjoy the movies. I think Ryan Reynolds has been like the perfect casting for Deadpool since like Blade Trinity, and of course, we have all of that to lay at the feet of Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, right? An incredible genius in the comic book industry. He's an absolute legend out there for creating some very iconic characters, being part of the best writing out there. And it's one of them situations where I didn't get a chance to read a lot of comics as a kid. But when I saw that first little teaser of the Deadpool movie out there that Ryan Reynolds didn't leak onto the internet, right? I was hooked. I was in. So I literally, they had the Marvel app at the time, right? And that was the easiest way to read all the comics. And so I literally spent like 2 months, like for nonstop, reading every Deadpool comic on there. I love the Merc with the Mouth. I loved the video game that was busted on the PlayStation, and I never could finish it, which still irritates me to this day. Re-release it, please. But needless to say, I am a big fan of Deadpool, and the way that Marvel has treated Rob has been absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. And the beautiful part about it is because he no longer works for them, because he doesn't have any major context or ties other than the fact that they still have to pay him a check. Boys and girls, he is out there speaking out and is not holding back, and it is a beautiful thing because the Deadpool creator has absolutely destroyed Disney Marvel once again, and it's a beautiful thing to see because more creators should speak out and speak up, because that's the only way you are going to be able to get fan support, is if you make fans aware of the absolute nasty and destructive ways the industry has been treating you. There's a reason why so many legends are going independent and creating their own stuff out there. I mean, you've got the Chuck Dixons of the world, and you've got so many others out there just going out there and doing their own thing because they're tired of dealing with the big two corporations out there that just simply screw over people and think that they're doing you favors by simply allowing you to work there. Boys and girls, the tides have changed on that. These guys are more successful in the independent sphere than they ever were working for these big two out there. They are loving it. They are speaking out about it, and Deadpool's creator is absolutely roasting Disney Marvel, and that is just a beautiful thing to see, boys and girls. So we're going to check out this article from Bounding Into Comics, get into the juicy details of exactly what he said and all of the major points that he makes against how the industry treats their creators. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 1,800. We're on our way to 1,900, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Is it nice to hear creators, especially from beloved characters like Deadpool, actually speak up against these major corporations and call them out for all of their nonsense BS behind it? Or are you one of the detractors out there that thinks Rob Liefeld's just a big crybaby and he should bow down and kiss the feet of Marvel for ever letting him in the door? Let us know what you think about all of that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel and become a member and get your name at the end credits of every single one of these videos and at the end of all of our live streams, please check out the link in the description down below. All right, from Bounding Into Comics and our dear sweet Spencer McCooley, Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld slams Marvel Comics for being ignorant and willfully dismissive to writers and artists. We're treated like shit. And hey, I don't blame him a single bit, boys and girls. And of course, our dear sweet Spencer McCooley. Not one to mince words when it comes to his thoughts on the comic book industry. Iconic Cable and Deadpool and Youngblood creator Rob Liefeld has once again taken public aim at Marvel Comics over their dismissive treatment of the actual talent responsible for the publisher's financial and cultural success. And if you don't believe these guys are the actual talent responsible for this, look what Disney did with Eternals. Look what they did with Captain Marvel. Look what they've done with X, Y, and Z. Look what they did with Wanda. Right? Look what they've done with all of these beloved characters without having the original creators or any input from people who actually know and understand the root and heart of these characters. Kevin Feige is a hack and literally stands on the shoulders of much more talented men to even reach a glimpse of success. He is not the story-driven, he is not the driving force behind Imagineering and storytelling over there. He's nothing more than the manager that's usually better at hiring better talent than himself. Unfortunately, he's very dismissive of anyone who criticizes of him and will gladly throw the baby out with the bathwater, which is exactly what they've done to Rob, and it's disgusting. He deserves better. I mean, Deadpool is iconic. That is merch that will sell into oblivion, unless, of course, they do the same thing that Disney Marvel's done to every other strong male character out there. Liefeld let loose against his now former employer while speaking to comicbook.com's Even Valentine in promotion of the newly launched Youngblood Volume 3, itself the very first entry in his effort to revive and create a multimedia franchise out of his original creator-owned series, which is the way to do it. Creating your own independent comic now is more accessible and cheaper than it has ever been in the history of publishing. Boys and girls, if you want to do this, if you think you've got some talent and you've got some clout for talking about yourself, give it a try. It's not just the big guys that can make it. There's a million independent groups out there on places like Fund My Comic and Kickstarter and all those other success stories that do a really good job. Believe in yourself. There has never been a better time than now to strike out on your own independently, and these legends absolutely understand that. Asked by Valentine for his opinion on the present state of the overall industry's relationship with creators, the Image Comics co-founder immediately declared, "We're treated like shit." I just love how blunt Rob is. I was like, we're treated like shit. I'm like, hey, you know what? I get it. I get it, buddy. I absolutely get it. No one wants to say this, but we're treated terribly even after all these years. He continued, "We are the George R. Martins and the Stephen Kings of our business. You try to make stuff without us and see what happens." And that's absolutely right. I mean, these guys out nowadays that couldn't hold a jockstrap to legends like Kirby and Stan Lee and Ditko and Ramada Sr. and like all of these other and absolute legends out there, you know, the Chuck Dixons of the world and like all of these incredible creative talents. And it's one of those things, it's like these people think that it's just that we're just a bunch of dumb nerds, right? That they'll slap a name on a character. They'll sometimes slap a halfway comic book accurate costume on the character, or at least semi-recognizable, right? And they'll go, oh, these nerds, they'll just laugh it up. They'll love it all. They don't understand that it's the core storytelling at the heart of these characters, the drama, the intensity, the complexity of these characters and their relationships and everything else. It's not just all the flashy suits and the big explosions and the wonderful powers. It's the characters and the essence of them and the storytelling behind it all that makes these things huge successes. And without people like Rob, none of this would exist. That's how stupid these people over at Disney Marvel are. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And think about the way Stephen King and George R. Martin are treated. Completely and totally different. It's because, well, comics books, those are just for kids. Oh, yeah? They've turned into billion-dollar franchises for you at the box office. Is that just for kids? And though Liefeld was pressed on the overall industry, it seems his thoughts were more focused on Marvel Comics specifically, as evidenced by the fact that he then recalled, "I have some other films in development right now, and I can tell you that the other studios I work with now aren't as ignorant and willfully dismissive as Marvel is. People ask, how can I do this?" The Youngblood creator said of his recent decision to voluntarily break up with the publisher. "I don't need anything from them. I hope things would end on a better note, but I wake up every day thrilled to make whatever I want." And yes, the freedom that comes from not having to obey a corporate oligarch over and over and over again, to be able to strive out on your own and make it. That is one of the most beautiful, and that is one of the most American things you can possibly do. Get yourself as independent and off the system as you possibly can. Get chickens, write your own comic books, go out there and start your own business, start your own podcast, see if you can succeed, see if you can make it to where the only person you have to answer to is your customers or your audience, which are the same thing. And that's the most important part. When you only have to answer to your customers, it is the most freeing feeling in the world, boys and girls. I might not seem like it based on my numbers, but I am able to do this full time because of how generous my supporters are to keep me afloat and keep me to being able to do this full time. And being independent from some corporation out there and some middle management BS, HR driven garbage, and being forced to be sucked into that every single day is one of the most freeing things ever, because I've done that before. I've worked in that corporate world. I was in the military, right? Talk about people being up your butt 24/7. This is the most freeing thing in the world, and I cannot be grateful enough for my audience for me being able to do that. And that's what he's talking about here. He doesn't have to work for these major corporations anymore. He can go out there and succeed on his own, and then he only answers to the customer. You know, that person who actually makes things succeed or fail, those fans that these mega corporations have forgotten, yeah, those stupid nerds, yeah, those people. Proceeding to fully turn his attention towards the current Deadpool and cable IP holders, he then admitted, "I love the characters I created for Marvel, and it's sad to say goodbye to them, but I'm happy. freedom. It's sad that more creators won't stand up, but I was in a vacuum. Myself and my fellow Image founders did a solid for this business, as Image Comics has delivered one of its initial promises. You come to Image Comics and you keep your entertainment rights. You enter with them and you exit with them. That's always our intent. We put our money where our mouth is on that one. And Image Comics is one of the few publishers out there that's still successful. Maybe they don't do the big distribution numbers, but they consistently give you good comics, and you don't have to lose your soul as a creator in order to work with them. And guess what? You don't even got to go through them anymore. It's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful decentralization of the comic book industry that we are seeing right now, that is going to give us a renaissance that may even rival some of the golden and silver age comic eras, boys and girls. It is a beautiful time to be a comic fan. It's just all a little more indie, and you got to do a little more work for it, but that's okay. Closing out his thoughts on this particular topic, the New Mutants Volume 1 legend clarified that when it comes to his continual campaigning for creators' rights, I'm not going to necessarily call the arms for fans. The ultimate deal is, I want to spread the word that it ultimately costs them nothing to treat us better. I'm not talking about me, but I want better treatment for the next generation of comic creators. Ultimately, it almost feels like creators are bothersome to these companies. They talk to you like, you're lucky that we tolerate you. When I was 22 years old, I sold Cable, Deadpool, and Domino, and I cut good deals, making that choice for those characters. Ultimately, just be cool. And I think that's something that we can all agree with. It doesn't take a lot of effort to treat a creative properly, right? Somebody who is talented, somebody who can pull off good, successful stories that resonate with your audience and your customers. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do that, well, you get Disney Marvel's box office and television ratings that you've seen essentially over the last 5 years to almost a decade in some cases. Disney, Star Wars, anyone? There's a million examples about how these people have decided to not listen to actual creative talent and just listen to these people that agree with their identity politics nonsense, right? And that's the thing about it. Rob just wants to create good characters and have the creatives treated fairly and properly. It's not rocket science to treat the people, the geniuses. That's like going into a tech industry, right? And treating your freaking, treating the guys that are in your development, all your development sectors, right? All your development sectors out there, the guys that are creating things on new days, your R&D, your research and development guys, right? The guys that are constantly coming up with new and creative, cool things for you. It's like going in there and going, all right, I'm here to take over, and you're going to do exactly what I say, and you're going to step in line with, and it's like, and you're going to tell them what to do, and guess what? I'm cutting all your pay. You're not getting any bonuses. You're not getting any receipts for the new things that you've created or the genius stuff you've come up with. No, it's a flat fee, and that's all you're getting, and you're going to be thankful you even work for. Oh, by the way, we're taking away the free coffee. That's literally it's like treating the geniuses behind medical developments and technological developments and computers and software and all this kind of stuff. It's like treating them like absolute garbage. It's the same thing. You wouldn't treat Stephen King like this. You wouldn't treat Dean Koontz like this. Why do you think you get away with treating like Rob like this? Oh, that's right. It's comic books. Those are for stupid nerds. Those are for those silly little geeks. Those guys you used to shove into the lockers. The guys that turned Disney into a company that was just a family-friendly movies of making a bunch of money off of a bunch of families going to see things over the weekend, to something that literally was cranking out $1 billion at the box office almost every single movie they put out. Yeah, those nerds, those geeks, those guys that actually drive the culture and find new things and make popular the franchises you decide to bleed dry with your nonsense. Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, Hollywood. Yeah, the reason why you fail is because you don't listen to people like Rob, because you don't listen to people like Chuck Dixon, because you don't listen to the creatives that are the geniuses that are the only reason your IPs ever became successful. So don't just be cool. Maybe a little groveling at the feet of the people that have given you billion-dollar franchises. And although Rob might not call out for it, and I'm just a little guy, I'm just a little fish in a big old pond, But I hope more creators call for fans to stand up and call out these major corporations for treating their creators like crap. Doesn't matter if it's Hollywood and their screenwriters, doesn't matter if it's fantasy and the actual good writers they have, or if it's comic books and the creative geniuses behind some of the most legendary and generational comic book creators ever. Rob's right. Just be cool. But at the end of the day, you need to do better. Because if you don't, well, Disney, Marvel, we've seen how your box office has been going for the last few years. Is that really a path you want to continue to go down? Either way, the choice is up to you, and you will get exactly what you deserve.